Hey, what's up guys? It's DarkArmedDuelist, and today I'm here with
Silver.
And Silver is going to be profiling their
branded Dogmatika Invoked Eldlich.
That is a fusion pile. That is awesome.
Pretty much.
So you can basically just play the best of all of the engines, which is really, really cool. I like that. That's kind of cool.
And there's like just a splash of Despia, but we'll really get into that in a second.
That's okay. You got to have it when you have branded. So
exactly.
Anyways, guys, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Hit the bell there so you can become part of the notification squad, and definitely check out the Patreon in the description below for all those awesome rewards, like getting your name stripped from every single video, getting assigned cards in the mail, and even getting to request a deck profile every single month you're a patron. So, without further ado, you got any shout outs, Silver?
Shout out to Buzz Place, and of course shout out to DarkArmedDuelist for giving me the opportunity to be on his channel yet again.
And definitely check out Silver's channel down in the pinned comment, Silver Collectibles. So, without further ado, guys, let's get straight on into this.
Alright, so of course, starting off, you have to run 2 copies of Fallen of Albaz. I don't think I really need to go into this card too much. It is a on-summon, pretty much, super polymerization. Using this and one monster your opponent controls. However, it's mainly used for its branded fusion implications.
Would you ever consider playing 3?
In this build, I think 2 is just fine.
Okay.
Of course, I do run 1 copy of the Light Hexfield Fusion.
Oh, it's just everything, the card.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then I do run the 1 copy of Mercurier, kind of as a hand trap if you control a fusion monster that requires Fallen of Albaz's material.
That's pretty good.
And then, of course, to no surprise, 1 copy of Aluber to search out Branded Fusion, Branded Lost, or Branded Red.
Just the 1?
Yes, and I'll go into why in, well, right now. I run 3 copies of Branded Opening to get to Aluber.
Okay. That's how you get to it. Okay.
I find that you don't want to normal summon this, but it's a good normal summon if you have to.
I got you.
So the main thing is you want to discard to be able to special summon it, so that way you're still able to use your like Alistair normal summon or something like that.
Yeah, and that also protects your fusion plays too, which is nice when it's in the grave.
Continuing on, of course, 3 copies of Branded Fusion.
Best card in the game.
Easily the best card in the game.
Fusion from deck.
Fusion from deck.
Double Foolish Burial, fusion from deck.
That's literally all it really is. I do run 1 copy of Branded Red.
The Chimera.
There were some times I did not run Chimera.
Oh, okay.
Mainly because I cannot afford Chimera.
Oh, that's okay. You can still go Masquerade.
Exactly. That's why we actually run it, is for Masquerade, being able to add back the Aluber to special summon, to fusion summon with it. And then to wrap up the branded stuff, of course, 1 copy of Branded Lost, to be able to act as pretty much another copy of your Meltdown, as well as being able to search for like your Mercury or something like that.
Oh yeah, the card is so good.
It really is.
That card is really, really good.
So that's it for the branded stuff. Continuing on, we're gonna go into Dogmatika. We run 2 copies of like Ecclesia. I do not think we ever need to run this card at more than 2. But I think that you should not run it at 1 because if you you want to either see it in opening hand or open in Zero Servant to get to it.
I got you.
Then of course we do run 1 copy of Flirtily. I'm not running the other Dogmatika monster,
Maximus,
mainly for the fact of, even though Dogmatika is not as popular as it used to be, people still run their own Intis and their extra deck to kind of stop.
Oh yeah.
And pop my own cards, which is not what I want. But main reason why I run this is to kind of boost these as well as the monster negation.
Yeah, I totally see that. I like running more than 1 Ecclesia in my builds too, because if you just run 1 Ecclesia and you draw into it, then you have 3 Nadir Servant in the deck that is just not even used anymore. Yeah, it's just completely a brick at that point.
Continuing on, I do, of course, run the 3 copies of Nadir Servant.
Oh, look, there it is.
This card... This card is non-negotiable at 3.
Oh yeah, no, it's definitely a 3.
When it was at 2, it kind of slowed the deck a whole lot down because you weren't going to see it as often. 3, it's either 3 or you just don't run the engine at all.
Yeah, it's just too good. Getting to send that monster from that extra deck to the graveyard to get a search, a pop, a draw, like it's just too good.
I actually have some really good spice for the extra deck for that as well. Continuing on, we do run the 1 copy of Punishment. Of course, you're running Dogmatika, you have to run at least 1.
It's searchable.
And then I also run 1 copy of Shadal Schism because we do run the small Shadal package in the extra deck to kind of get into it.
Like the Apokalon and the Winda and stuff like that. I got you.
Continuing on to the Invocation stuff, we do run, of course, 3 copies of Alistair.
Best normal summon.
For those who don't know what this card does, what are y'all doing? This is Yu-Gi-Oh! But for seriously, those who don't know what this does, practically you normal summon this, search for a invocation, and then it also has the effect of while this card is in your hand, if your fusion monster battles, you can discard it, give it 1,000 attack.
That's pretty cool. Is that the Italian ones though?
It is.
Those look so nice.
Every
so good.
Every time I play them against my opponent, I just say I normal summon Alistair Invoked and just see what they and they just don't expect it, but
they're like, wait, what?
Yeah, exactly.
Is that new?
But I just like the Italian copies of these. I want to get the entire engine as Italian just because it's so nice.
Oh yeah.
Of course, continuing on, you want to have to run 3 of this.
Oh yeah. Definitely.
Because you want to be able to see either one of these or one of your Alistairs in hand. And for those who don't know what this does, it kind of protects you, like your fusions, from like they can't like respond to the activation of the fusion cards itself, or at least the summon, and you get to continue on. However, also this card allows you to search for your Alistair on activation.
Oh yeah, literally that card could just say search Alistair and it would be perfect.
Exactly.
But that's just so good that it protects your fusion plays too.
Exactly.
That plus branded fusion is ridiculous.
And of course, we do run our 4th copy of Magical Meltdown in Terraforming. And if you want to get technical, we do have the 5th copy, of course, and the 1 copy of Branded Lost.
Oh yeah.
So practically, we are going to fusion summon successfully.
Yeah, you're going to protect your fusion plays.
Exactly. Continuing on, I opt to only run 2 copies of Invocation.
You only need 2.
Yeah, I've seen people argue for 3, but honestly, if you don't want to see it in your hand all the time, I've had hands where I open one of this and Alistair, and like honestly, just having it at 2 is just a good number in my opinion.
I totally agree. You never really need that card at any more than 2 in any build.
Exactly.
It's so searchable.
Continuing on to, last but not least, the Eldlich cards. We do run 2 copies of Eldlich the Golden Lord. I think that 2 in this build is perfectly fine. Don't need any more than that. Don't really need to go into too much of what he does.
Oh, yeah.
And then, of course, we run 3 copies of Elixir Scarlet Sanguine to be able to special summon our Eldlich the Golden Lord from deck, as well as being able to banish it from the graveyard to set a Golden Lands trap card.
That's pretty good.
Or spell or trap, but we only just run the trap.
And it just immediately gets to Golden Gucci Lord. It's just already just ridiculous.
Continuing on, we do, of course, run 3 copies of Conquistador to be able to summon itself and then destroy a card your opponent controls if you have like Eldlich the Golden Lord. However, you're practically going to have that
all the time
with this deck.
That card is so good for the pop 1.
Exactly. Also, this card, as well as the last one, which you'll see in a second, have the ability that during the end phase you can banish this card to set a Elixir trap, which would be the Sanguine, to kind of be able to continue off with your resources.
Yeah.
Then to wrap it up, I only run 2 copies of Hikaro, because like I don't think you need more than 2. But right now, with decks like Tear Limit running around, you just activate this, banish their card they're trying to fuse with.
I got you.
Yeah, that's it for the main deck. I've been playing this deck for a little bit now. I really enjoy it.
It's a really cool looking deck. I really like the way that you're playing it too. Like you got the best of all of those different engines.
Exactly, and they all work really well together.
Yeah.
I think the one thing that, like honestly, if I were to have to cut one of those engines, I might have to cut the Alistair, like the Invocation engine, just because it doesn't set up as good of boards, in my opinion.
Yeah, you can just go for Makaba.
Exactly, and you can add like more consistency cards. However, I feel like the Alistair just kind of brings it to the next level.
I got you. So let's see the extra deck.
So, of course, for the extra deck, we run 2 copies of Albion the Branded Dragon to kind of get into our other fusions.
Walking Miracle Fusion.
Exactly. Then we run 2 copies of Lubellion. Lubellion doesn't come up nearly as often, just for the fact that you have to discard. However, there are times where you do want to be able to shuffle your materials back into the deck, and this is the best option for that.
Oh, yeah. So you can recycle stuff.
Exactly. Then continuing on, we do run 1 copy of Mirror Jade.
Just the 1 Mirror Jade?
Just the 1 Mirror Jade, because we do have other fusions that we can go into.
I got you.
If you really want to run a second, you can. However, personally, I just like the one because you can kind of just play around with other fusions as well.
I got you.
Continuing on, we do run one copy of Masquerade Dragon.
There you go.
Just so that way we can burn our opponent for a lot of damage, as well as being able to kind of add some extra use to the one copy of Aluber we run.
Every time they breathe, they take 6.
Exactly.
Every time they breathe.
And then to wrap up the extra deck, the branded stuff, I do run one copy of Dragoon to kind of help to add extra negations. Only downside to Dragoon in this deck is you don't get the pop effect, but even then, just having a monster that's really hard to get over, and like once per turn Omni Negate, it's a really good card.
Oh yeah, the negate is worth the summon anyways.
It really is. All right, continuing on, these are the discards or the cards to send off into your servant. We run one copy of Intis for the additional pop, one copy of Kit Kalos.
Oh.
Main reason why we run this is you activate Nadir Servant, send Kit Kalos, resolve to search your Ecclesia, shuffle your deck, and then mill 5, hitting your Eldlich cards.
That's spicy.
Exactly.
That is really spicy. I like that.
So
that's cool.
So yeah, you just want to try to mill your Eldlich cards with this. And it works extremely well.
That is cool. I like that.
I've had this come up a couple times, and I've milled exactly what I need almost every single time.
That is cool. That's a really cool tech. I like that. In case you just don't need the pop, you can just use that instead. That's cool.
And earlier when I was talking about a spicy card, that was the spicy card I'm talking about.
That's cool. The mill 5 is cool.
It really is.
I might have to start using that with Nadir.
You should. It's actually really good for the deck. Continuing on, of course, one copy of Titaniclad to search for more Dogmatika stuff. And then to wrap up these, we do run one copy of Apocalone to search for the Schism. And then we do run the one copy of Winda to add onto the negations as well.
You got that Alti art.
I do have the Alti art. I do want to get the original Secret Rare eventually.
Yeah, I like the Alti. Nice. I love the Alti though. I don't know why. I just like that one.
Oh, I completely get it. Yeah, just 5 cards for the Dogmatika stuff. I don't think I changed this list pretty much at all.
I got you.
Continuing on to the invocation stuff. This is gonna sound weird, but I cannot find a spot for a second one other than one copy of Mechaba.
I got you. Well, you already cut the second Mirror Jade, so I totally understand that. The extra deck is really tight.
It really is. I will explain what I might cut for it, but even then, people are going to be like, what are you doing?
I got you.
I do run one copy of Kaliga, because I've had multiple times where I've had an ending board of Kaliga and Winda, and my opponent just couldn't play the game.
Yeah, they can't. No.
At that point, they just can't play the game at all.
Yeah, you just throw the Kaliga into defense mode, and then you summon the Winda out, and they have to get over it, and it's just it's really bad, because they can only do like one effect and one special summon.
Exactly. They just can't play that often. And then, of course, the one copy of Artemis to help get into Mechaba.
Yeah, because it gives you that light target for it. I got you.
If I were to cut any card for the second Mechaba, it would be this.
Really?
Just for the fact of this does not work with Branded.
I got you.
Branded Fusion says that you cannot summon any other monsters from the extra deck except fusions the entirety of the turn. So not just after you activate, it's... If you summon this, your Brand of Fusion is turned off. I
got you. Would you ever consider cutting like maybe the Shaddoll stuff just out of curiosity to like up the amount, like put in like another Mechaba, maybe like Perk Trio or something?
I do not personally like that idea because...
I got you.
I'd rather be able to summon out Winda and just make my opponents upset than being able to get out multiple Mechabas.
Oh, I totally agree with that. Okay, so is that it for the deck, or you got a side deck?
I do have a side deck. Of course, as I say in all my videos, of course, side deck is like personal preference, especially for like your locals or whatever event you're planning on going to. So this is just like, so my side deck is just what I face off against. However, y'all's side deck might not look the same.
I got you. These are just some really good suggestions.
Exactly. I try to keep my stuff more generic, but some cards do focus more towards my locals. So starting off, of course, 3 copies of Duty Crow. I think that this is easily one of the best hand traps this format.
Oh, yeah.
I think the only one that I would say is even slightly better is Drone Lockbird, but honestly, I feel like Duty Crows work just fine in this deck.
Oh, yeah.
Continuing on, We have 3 copies of Lightning Storm.
Yeah, that deals with back row.
2 Twin Twisters.
You really don't like back row.
And Harpy's Feather Duster.
You really don't like back row.
We really don't. We do not want our opponents to be like. We do not want to see our opponent activate D barrier.
There's no Mystic Mine here.
So exactly, no Mystic Mine, and I'm going to try to stop you from being able to use your D barrier. However, you know, that's mainly like if I see these going first, just. You know,
set them, and then when they set theirs, pop them.
Exactly.
I got you.
Or that's the goal, at least.
I got you.
Continuing on, we run 3 copies of Evenly Matched.
You really don't like back row.
We really don't like back row.
You really don't. That's like
this
9
locals,
cards.
We have multiple Eldlich players, including myself, and then we also got like somebody was playing like Trap Trick, and I was just like, nope, we are going to hate back row. You could, like, if you were to change this card, which I might, I would change this to Dark Ruler No More, just for going second options.
Oh, yeah. And
then to wrap up the extra deck, because we're hypocrites, 3 copies of Dimensional Barrier.
Yeah, because you just don't want to let them play.
I want to play, I do not want to let Tier Limit play.
Oh, no. No, I totally understand that. I totally get that. That's a pretty cool deck. I really like that, Silver. That's a really awesome deck. It's very creative, and it's really cool because you have all sorts of different engines that you've thrown together in this deck, and it works, too.
It does.
Like, it's really cool. So, thank you so much, Silver. Do you have any other shout-outs?
No additional shout-outs, no.
Okay, but definitely check out Silver's channel down in the pinned comments, Silver Collectibles. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, guys. And definitely check out the Patreon down in the description down below. And we'll see you guys in the next video. See you later, guys.